We walk over just in time to hear the bride throwing a fit. Hey guys, welcome back to another week of me reacting to your wedding stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. But first, it's official. We are 1 week away from my book launch for Here Comes the Drama, a Ferris and Sloan story. The skit that went viral that I was not planning on being much longer than a few episodes, and we're now on season 3. It's now a book. If you guys pre-ordered it already on Kindle, you will get it that morning on June 12th. Then on June 12th, you can also order the printed copy. It will not have this bar here. This is my proof right here, so it won't look like this, but I can't believe I'm even saying this out loud. There's been so much work to make this come to life, so many people behind the scenes that have helped me along the way, and I just cannot wait for you guys to read it. I'm so excited just to hear what you guys think. You guys are the reason it's becoming what it is, the love and support for the characters, for the storyline, and just always asking for one more episode. So I am just so excited to get this into your hands and out into the world. That all being said, let's get into today's story. This says, so this wedding day drama involves my younger sister and my cousin's soon-to-be wife. My male cousin got engaged to his ex-beauty queen girlfriend when he was 23 and she was 25. All of us tried to be happy for him, but she just didn't vibe well with our family and still doesn't. Spoiler alert. Anyway, the bride had been a bridezilla from day one and was very insistent on having a very traditional Christian wedding. She was relentless about many things, but we all tried to be as supportive as we could. Well, the big day arrives and we're getting ready for this black tie wedding. My sister, who was 15 at the time, puts on a white cocktail dress. You know, the kind with ruffles and a big flower sewn into the waistline, paired with bright red heels. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest right now before I react. I know where this is going to go. She's wearing a white dress, but it's hard because she's saying her sister was 15 at the time. You might not know at that age. You would hope, though, that someone around you, like a family member, would be like, hey, let's not wear white, especially for this bridezilla that's not really meshing well with our family. It might not go that bad, but something's telling me it's not going to be great. She genuinely wasn't thinking about the don't wear white to a wedding rule, and we didn't think it would be an issue since she was just a sweet teenage girl. Okay, so they're all there with her, allowing her to get in this dress. And I'm so sorry. I don't know how this bridezilla is. I still don't know, but I'm so sorry if it sounds like I'm coming in harsh. If I was getting ready with my younger sister, younger cousin, and they put on a white dress, I would halt that. I would stop that, especially if it's a bride like this, especially because I'm like, that's going to just stir up some things. But in general, you don't want to wear white to a wedding. And 15 is still young, yes. And maybe it's her first wedding she's ever been to, doesn't really understand the etiquette or what you should do. But as someone older that's there, I don't think the bride's gonna think it's very cute. The ceremony goes on, and afterwards, wait, okay, so I was thinking, okay, this is the actual wedding. I don't know why I read this the first time. You guys are all probably like listening like, yeah, I knew that. I don't know why I was reading it as this was the rehearsal dinner. I think I saw we're getting ready, so I was thinking rehearsal dinner. This is the actual wedding. She's wearing a white dress too. And I know this isn't about, I know this is like coming from a different perspective, and people might disagree with me here, but if you are getting ready with someone and you're the older one, you got to give those wise words of wisdom. Hey, why don't we wear this black dress instead, not white? The ceremony goes on, and afterwards we're all waiting to take family pictures. While we're standing around, a bridesmaid comes up and tells us we need to leave immediately and head to the cocktail hour at the reception venue per the bride's instructions. So wait, they need to leave and head to cocktail hour at the reception venue per the bride's instructions. So I thought they were saying like, okay, you need to leave like the venue, like just be done, like not even give them a warning. Because I have talked to wedding planners, like Cassie, the Wedding Cast Pro, was on my podcast, and I asked her, when you're planning a wedding and someone shows up in white, what do you do? And she actually said this on the podcast. She said she's had it happen a few times, and she does not go right to the bride. She talks to like someone that's close to the bride, so maybe a bridesmaid, a friend, a parent. And she said this one time in particular, she asked the bridesmaid and she goes, oh no, she's not going to want her to wear white. So they just kindly went up to the girl and was like, hey, do you have another dress? Could you possibly change? That's a great way to diffuse a situation and handle it. Like, that's why her name's Wedding Cast Pro. She knows these things. She's a pro. So it sounds like they're asking her just to leave. I'm a little confused. But at that exact moment, my cousin, who's the groom, calls everyone over for a big family photo. So it sounds like they want her to leave before this family photo. We walk over just in time to hear the bride throwing a fit, demanding that my 15-year-old sister either be placed in the very back where she couldn't be seen or have her dress edited to a different color. As you can imagine, it got pretty awkward. I'm going to sound like a bridezilla here but here's the thing. I've talked about this before on the podcast. Someone could have shown up to my wedding wearing white and I would not have cared. One of my cousins had white flowers on her shirt when we went out to the bachelorette party or one of the dinners. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I just realized I have white on my shirt. And I go, Jasmine, I literally don't care. You could wear a whole white dress and I wouldn't care. I'm that person. That does not bother me. However, that being said, I know a lot of brides do care about it. I would say majority are not going to want you coming in a white dress. So I don't want to speak for everyone, of course. To say, yes, we should probably just put her in the back, I don't think is a terribly rude thing to say. She's not saying you got to leave right now. She's thinking ahead and saying, you know what, let's put her behind someone. Maybe she didn't say it so nicely, but I've read stories before where like an aunt showed up wearing like all white or like a fancy dress and they were like, you know what, let's just have her go kind of in the back so you just kind of see her head or something. And that's a way to work around it. Or what's wrong with the photographer editing the dress color? I mean, it's again, she's allowing you to stay in your dress. I mean, I don't know. You guys might completely disagree with me, but I would never personally show up to a wedding wearing white or not like let someone know. Now, I would say if they're like under 10 years old and they're a little kid, sure, maybe, but 15, you're in high school. I think we can find another dress. As you can imagine, it got pretty awkward, but not as awkward as what came next. We found out later through social media that the photographer had in fact edited my sister's dress completely to a different color, bright banana yellow with the red heels still intact. She looked like a walking billboard for McDonald's. Oh no. So yellow can look great depending on the shade and what it's worn with. Again, I'm not a fashionista, but if it's looking like McDonald's, we're talking bright yellow. So that sounds like it was done kind of intentionally. Again, she didn't make her change. I don't know. Like, again, I would never do that personally in my own wedding, but I get why a bride would not want someone wearing white in their photo. You want to stand out, right? It's also weird to find out through social media that this happens. There's these photos of their family put together and she's wearing a yellow dress. This caused a lot of tension within our family, and to this day, no one brings it up around our new cousin-in-law. So no one confronted her, no one like had communication with her, asked her about it. It was kind of just sounds like she had an issue, she dealt with it with a photographer, and no one said anything here. No one brought it up to her, so they're kind of just like crossing in the night. I find it interesting too. Well, I shouldn't say I find it interesting. We're not getting anything else about why this bride is a bridezilla. I'm not saying she's not, but it just says this is the only thing I'm getting from it. So if you're watching and you sent this story, send me more. I want more to this story. This would be a really good one to do a skip because I would love to see the discourse around it. I would love to see what you guys think, because I remember a while back I was sharing all these stories and so many people were like, well, there's bridezillas too, and you know, you're not giving enough stories to different people. So I think it'd be really interesting to share this story to see like who people side with, what they think. So I'm going to mark this as one to do in the future. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, what would you do as either party? If you were the bride and a 15-year-old came wearing a dress, would you have them change? Or would you just politely change their color of the dress in the photo? Would you not care? Would you tell everybody or anybody to wear white? Where's the cutoff? Would you care if your mother-in-law came wearing white? Would you care if a cousin came wearing white, like an older cousin? I'm so curious about this discourse. People have very strong opinions about it, so I'm curious to see. All right, that is all we have for this week. Another crazy story. Thank you for sending it to me. As always, you can submit more stories at the link below. I'm always looking for more stories. They're used, to share here on our YouTube channel. We share them on the podcast. We share them in social media. I just read them sometimes. And then, of course, the most famous way is skits. And some are just really hard to act out. That's why I started reading some, because some I'd have to have like 100 people acting with me, because I'm like, I don't even know how I would do that. So yeah, so thank you for sending them to me. And of course, as a reminder, next week you can get your printed copy of my new book, Here Comes the Drama, A Ferris and Sloan Story. I cannot wait to get this in your hands and hear what you guys think. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Bye now.